Fair Game is a 1986 released Australian thriller directed by Mario Andreacchio.
Yes, it stars Cassandra Delaney as Jessica, who kind of runs a wildlife sanctuary in the outback, rescuing little injured baby kangaroos and birds and other assorted things. Wallabies, probably.
Yes. Yes.
And she's going about her business. I think her husband's away, or there's somebody we don't see that she talks to on the phone who appears to be away. So she's on her own on this sort of farm, and she's off to the local town, which obviously being Australia in the outback is, a fair distance away.
Yeah.
And a couple of vehicles are on the road with her, one behind and one in front of her, and they decide to, I don't know, play some sort of stupid game with her, don't they? And
road game kind of thing.
And come right up behind her and ram her slightly, and then one of them decides he's going to get out and climb on the roof and climb all the way over her car and then onto the van that's in front, like a completely crazy person. So,
yes.
they basically run her off the road. And then when she gets to town, no one really cares, do they? She talks to the policeman.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He says, calm down, dear. Something along those lines. And, and it turns out these guys are, they're hunters, aren't they? They're kangaroo hunters. And they, as far as they're concerned, they're providing a service to the farmers by keeping down the kangaroo population. Clearly a little bit reckless, shall we say, how they go about things. So, anyway, she goes home. And so the tensions between them escalate. They're going around shooting their guns off all night, and she doesn't really like that very much. And then they decide they'll take some target practice on some of the animals at her sanctuary. And and it, like I say, it escalates to the point where she feels she has to defend her home and her animals and herself from these guys.
Yes.
And their toxic masculinity.
Yes, that's good. I like that phrase.
Thanks.
Nicely done. Fair game. That's what this film is. It's an exploitation at the end of the day. If you've seen that really good documentary, not quite Hollywood. That's the one. Which is a really great documentary that came out. It's about 10 years ago now.
Something like that. Yeah,
something like
that.
Years ago. It's really, really good. And obviously it features all these great Australian films. So the interesting thing with Australia and its kind of cinematic history is that there's kind of not a huge amount of genres that came out. Well, not genres, but so you got your kind of artistic films. A lot of those films that came out of Australia, which we have spoken about this before in a couple of our other videos. But then you got this kind of Ozploitation, exploitation cinema that came out in the 70s, mid 70s into the 80s, and so there are hundreds of these kind of films that came out of that. Some of them, as with any country and any film history, some of them are great, some of them not so great.
I mean, Mad Max probably being the most famous.
Mad Max is probably the most famous one, and I mean, I don't even know if that. I mean, it's in the documentary, that one. It's kind of it's a car movie, so it's kind of a car exploitation movie. But I think that one kind of sits kind of between the two, the art house and the Ozploitation, because it's a very well made film. It looks great, but then it's obviously got all the car violence and the punks and all those kind of things. So I think that film kind of sits between both sides of the coin. But then of course you got a lot more films like name some
Road Games,
Lost Weekend. Is it Lost Weekend? Long Weekend. Lost Weekend. Long Weekend. I'm just saying them both.
Cut whichever
one goes in. Yeah. And the Razorback was another one with the crocodile, and Dead End Driving, which is a really great film.
Razorback with a crocodile.
Yeah, it's a big, massive alligator.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was a pig.
No, pig.
Yeah.
There is an alligator. Alligator.
Yes.
Was the film with the alligator. You're right, the pig. The big pig. Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, loads of films came out. Turkey Shoot. Crazy film.
Yep.
They released a box, that's 12 discs or 2 discs with like 6 films on each, which got some really great films on there. This one, I saw this. I saw this quite a long time ago when I was watching all those exploitation films. This was, to me, it was one of the poorer ones. I wasn't. It's got some great stuff in there. I just felt it didn't completely work for me. I mean, obviously we are in revenge territory, so we are kind of. I suppose if you look at the famous revenge films that are out there, you've got things like I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left and things like that. I was never really the biggest fan of those kind of violent revenge thrillers. I find them all a bit dirty, and you come away from them feeling a bit ugh. This one's kind of weird because it kind of is a revenge thriller, but you never really get. I didn't quite get the sense. Maybe it's not vicious enough. It doesn't have, yes, they're like sexist redneck pigs, but they're not. It doesn't feel like they're doing anything to really justify the revenge she takes on them.
I mean, she kind of does stuff that makes them escalate what they're doing, and it
both...
kind of builds and builds, and it's kind of like some of it you could almost say she brings it on herself because of what she does in revenge to them, and so because it doesn't end it there, they then up their game, and it kind of just keeps escalating.
Yeah, well, I suppose hence the title "Fair Game." I mean, it's a game on two sides. I mean, the two things that really annoy me about this film are the acting is dreadful. It's really dreadful. But a lot of exploitation films are perfectly fine acting. The acting in this was just dreadful.
I think it was that bad.
Oh, it was just It just irritated me. The first time I saw it, irritated me when I saw it this week as well. And the music.
Yeah, the music is a bit strange. Isn't
Sounds like it's from a completely different film. It didn't go with it at all, and it never shuts up either. It's like, just stop the music for a second. Let's have a listen. But that's kind of my only two, and apart from not really following the plot too well, or going with the plot, apart from that, it does have some really good stuff in it.
I think the best things about it are the cinematography. Cinematography
is great. Australia looks beautiful, as is a lot of times. Obviously the great outback. We did a film a few months ago, Sunday Too Far Away, and also Ravensgate, Incident at Ravensgate. Two films that have some quite spectacular vistas, big open wide shots of Australian outback, and if they're shot well, it can look beautiful, and it looks beautiful in this film, almost too beautiful for the themes that are going on within it. But it's shot really well. Yeah. I think this cinematographer actually went on to do Lord of the Rings.
Oh right, well,
or the first Lord of the Rings, or one or all of them. I don't know which. He definitely did one of the Lord of the Rings films, and so it's shot beautifully, and I imagine you're going to talk about the stunts.
Yes. I forgot what I was going to say. And the other thing is the stunts. There's some amazing stunt work in here, and you can see that there's no safety nets or harnesses or CGI or anything like that. It's it's a guy on top of a car that's going at speed, and he's hanging on as for dear life, and jumping onto another car. And there's another bit where there's a guy on a roof. And then, they're knocking down pillars, so part of the roof is falling down, and he's jumping off that roof just in time, just before it all falls down. Yeah. And, crazy stuff that, it looks amazing because it was done for real.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that's really great about, maybe not just the Australian cinema back in the late 70s, early 80s, probably in America as well, is that kind of, you really get that sense of that DIY filmmaking going on. There's actually a really good story, I think, in the documentary. I think they're talking about The Man from Hong Kong, which is this. It's not very good. It seems quite a good fun film. It's like this policeman comes over from Hong Kong and he has to solve a crime in Australia. That's a little bit like, I suppose, Jackie Chan going out to America in Rush Hour, that kind of story. And I think there's a scene in it where this car goes like down. There's a car chase and it goes down an alleyway and I think it runs someone over. And I think they were talking about that, where they so the guy gets hit by the car and he's on the floor, and the director comes running up to him and he's all worn out because he's just been smacked over by a car. And the director's like, right, quick, get up, let's do it again. And it's that really kind of crazy, just get in there and do it. Obviously, this is before CGI. They don't have many stuntmen. I mean, just look at Mad Max. I mean, some of the greatest car chase sequences of all time, and crashes, and it just looks like they're just just gone out and
Yeah.
you thought, you know, we're going to get injured? Fine, get injured. I mean, I was remembering Mad Max that, obviously I don't want to talk too much about Mad Max, but there's that great scene near the end of it when they go over the bridge and the guy comes off the motorbike and his wheel just smacks into the back of his head and it looks so vicious.
I'm sure there's another one. I think there's a stunt in Road Warrior maybe with a lorry. I can't remember. I'm sure they talked about it in the Not Quite Hollywood documentary where there was some. I can't remember. I think the driver was injured or something because he just did this massive crash with this lorry or something, and it was just completely crazy.
So I think that's what's great about these films, and there is some really great stunt work in this film, and also this film has that kind of infamous sequence on the bonnet of a car, which of course Quentin Tarantino went on to use. I don't think he ripped it off for his film. He uses it, and they mention
paid homage,
and they mention this film, why they go out and do it, and of course it's the when the woman's strapped to the front, the bonnet of the car, and I mean Tarantino speaks very highly of this film. Anyway, I don't think it's as good as Tarantino makes out, but. Who am I to argue against Tarantino?
Well, he does. He loves these kind of films. I mean, we talked about when we did *Inglourious Basterds* a little while ago. I mean, that had a very similar feel stunt-wise as well, because you could see a lot of the stuff that they were doing was for real.
Yeah.
And obviously he's a big fan of that as well. And I think it was their truck in it. Is almost it's a character on its own, isn't it?
Oh, definitely,
all the modifications they've got on it and stuff.
The Beast,
as well.
I think.
The Beast,
yes.
Their Ute, as they probably call it.
Or
is it just in Neighbours that they refer to Utes?
Yeah, Neighbours is the Ute, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, it's this big kind of meaty thing, and it's got like something.
Pipes and
pipes
all sorts of stuff.
Running.
It does look like some sort of creature, doesn't it?
I mean. Yeah, it does. Yeah, and there's obviously a bit of a Mad Max influence going on there as well, especially with the filming of that opening sequence with all when they've got the camera and the car comes really up close to the camera and stuff like that. And that's another thing I remember Tarantino saying. I think he was talking about Mad Max and saying how gripping those car chase sequences were, because you really felt like you were in the car.
Yeah.
In the car chase. Unlike a lot of American films where your camera's looking at what's going on from the distance. In Mad Max, you get in that car and you're with Mel Gibson in the car, and it's exhilarating and terrifying and crazy all at the same time. Let's stop talking about Mad Max. It's an amazing film, though. The first one, that is.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the first one as much.
It's very different to the other three.
It's very different. Yeah, it's my favourite, though. Anyway, so enough of that. But yeah, so I think it's if you like Ozploitation, Australian stuff from the early 80s, and you haven't seen it, then I don't see why not give it a go.
No, I mean if you're a fan of Death Proof, which is obviously the film that Tarantino lifted it for, then just to see where that originated is worth giving it a go.
Yeah, so obviously we get to this part of the video and we talk about where you can see it. Can you see this film at the moment?
Yes, it's on Amazon Prime at the moment.
Right, so if you don't have Amazon Prime, tough.
Yeah. But it's not something that's going to be on TV much, I don't think, unless a channel does an Ozploitation season or something. It is on DVD and Blu-ray, not over here, I don't think. The best place to probably get it is the Australian Blu-ray from Umbrella, which is has a nice restoration and some extras as well. So that's probably the one to go for if you can get hold of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on I don't think it's on. I've got like two DVDs, and it's got. I think that might be from Umbrella. Can't remember. Anyway, it's very similar packaging to the packaging for Not Quite Hollywood. Right, it kind of came out at the same time. There's about 6 films in each box. I don't think that's on there.
Want to go and look?
No.
Okay.
I could go and look.
And you could waft it in front of the camera.
As if by magic. No, it's not on here.
No. All right.
But it's got some good films on here. Here we go. So Razorback, Chain Reaction. That's a good one. That's got nice car chase in that.
Yeah.
Same guys. I think George Miller, who made Mad Max, made the car chases in that film. Filmed them. Long Weekend, not Lost Weekend. Stone, crazy biker film. That's a good film. Phantasm's True Story of Eskimo Noah. There's a bit of sexploitation going on in here as well. We got here The Adventures of Barry Mackenzie. That's very funny. The Naked Bunyip. Yeah, you can kind of guess where that's going. Turkey Shoot, Road Games, Harlequin, and Night of Fear. It's a good little box set. I think that is from Umbrella Entertainment. That's it. Yeah. So I don't know if those are still available, but Fair Game's not obviously on them, so I wouldn't get them for this
But
film.
if you like Fair Game, then maybe check that out as well.
Yes, exactly. I mean, if you like exploitation cinema, which I'm not the biggest fan of personally, but I like some of them, and you like a bit of Australian humour and all that kind of stuff, I totally recommend going and checking out some of these films, and this one as well, because there's a lot of fun to be had with all these films. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Do that.
So that was Fair Game, and as always, if you like the video, then let us know in the comments below.
Yep, hit the subscribe button up there if you've liked what you watched, and there's some other videos to check out over there. Come and see us on Twitter and Facebook, and join us next week for another one.